in Turkey, the Fire of Anatolia, as we'll have more dancing out on the competition floor now, for it is the women's floor final. This is the last event for women at this World Cup. Here are the finalists. We're going to start with gymnast from Ukraine in Krystyna Hrudecka. 15-year-old who is new to the international stage as a senior. Her teammate, a little more experienced, Diana Lobok, will be the next to go. She's the reigning champion on the floor of her country. Mafalda Costa of Portugal, second final of the day. Australia's Kate McDonald, who's appeared in 3 of the 4 finals over the course of this event. She was the 3rd best in qualifying. The top qualifier, Lyudmila Roshchina. Antalya Šikić-Kaučić of Croatia, runner-up at the National Championships last year and already a World Challenge Cup champion. Leni Bola of Austria. She has been a medalist in World Cup competition on the floor. Spain's Laia Font will be the last to go. A medalist in Turkey on floor at the Junior Mediterranean Championships many years ago. So probably some happy memories of being in this country. The finalists in the women's floor competition. The top performer in qualification, Lyudmila Roshchina, will go 5th in this final. Her score was 13.366. That just about a quarter of a mark higher than Laia Font, the Spaniard, who will be the last to go. In the first half of the final, we have Krystyna Hrudecka, Diana Lobok, Mafalda Costa and Kate McDonald. They were the 7th, 8th, 5th and 3rd best qualifiers respectively. Top qualifier Lyudmila Roshchina will be the first to go after the break. So we've got Roshchina and Font, first and second best qualifiers in the second half of this final. Warm-up time is over and we're about to begin this last event for women at the World Cup in Turkey. Ukraine's Krystyna Hrudecka is the first to go. Ukraine's Krystyna Hrudecka, 7th best in qualification with a score of 12.3. A lot of the tumbling was performed very securely. She had one particularly difficult landing that needed adjustment. Very good effort though from the gymnast who competed at the Junior World Championships last year. Made the all-around final. Double pike was really tidy looking. Landed it well. This is where she had to really jiffle backwards to get her position secured, and did it to avoid concession of a full mark. The whole thing was a very determined effort from Krystyna Hrudecka, bronze medalist at the Gymnasiad, the championships for athletes still in school. He also won the uneven bars and balance beam title. A week ago she finished 6th in the final of the Azerbaijan World Cup. 12.166 is the score here. It is a little drop from qualifying. Her teammate, this is Diana Lobok from Kyiv in Ukraine, reigning champion of her country. Diana Lobok of Ukraine, the 8th best in qualification. Did well to actually get to a finishing position at the end. Really, unfortunately, just had a crumpled landing with that final tumbling pass. The 17-year-old made her debut at the World Championships last year. Also competed for a 2nd time at the European Championships. parts of that display was looking very secure. Just the final moments that were really problematic from an execution point of view. Started with rapid spins in the position with a leg right up at the head. It was a big and busy beginning, actually, and it worked well. Some of the twisting form has a bit of overlapping, crossing over at the ankles. Stability nicely managed in the low turns in the squat position. And then at the end, almost got through that double tuck. 12.166 the score for her teammate, Kristina Hrudecka. Lobok, like Hrudecka, scored 12.3 in qualification, but with higher difficulty, so she was below her on the execution tiebreak. It's been quite a slow day from a judging point of view. Lobok continues to wait. As do we all. Still the calculations continue. Very long wait for Diana Lobok to receive her score, and indeed for Mafalda Costa of Portugal, who's waiting to compete. And there is the score, 11.633. Representing Portugal, Mafalda Costa, second final of the day. Just a really good effort from Mafalda Costa of Portugal. Some impressive tumbling skills on show. The double layout at the start was powerful. Had a good tight tucked position right at the end too. A lot of really well performed gymnastics from the 20-year-old. One imagines her confidence must have been so heartened by making her World Championship debut in Jakarta. And there was a quiet sense of authority to this performance. There's a double layout, good positioning. Yes, she goes out of bounds, but it was well delivered. Nice secure twist position as well. And an earnest effort to commit to the choreography, to match the music. Portugal's Mafalda Costa. Second time we've seen her in a final today. That's a very successful day, whatever the outcome. The university undergraduate who scored 12.633 in qualification. If she gets close to that, she'll be leading. Well done to her. She's gone into the gold medal position. 12.2 for Mafalda Costa. 5 remain. Kate McDonald of Australia. Third best in the qualification process. Oh, that was some save at the end from Kate McDonald. How on earth did she stay upright? great performance. It really does have an energy choreographically. What she's doing from a movement point of view really relates to the music. But didn't she use all of her athleticism and experience to hold that final tumbling pass? Some great acrobatic work on display here from the experienced Australian. She's got her own routine, her own way of getting ready for the start of competition, gets in her own headspace, has music playing, and then she keeps that connection to music when she actually performs, because this really does relate rhythmically to the music. Great, powerful twisting. I mean, this surely has got to go quite comfortably into the lead. That's gone really comfortably into the lead. 13.066 for Kate McDonald. That's almost 9/10 of a mark ahead of anyone else. So we have 4 still to go. And this is the warm-up of the last of those gymnasts, Laia Font. She scored 13.1 as the second best qualifier. We're going to go to the top qualifier now. Lyudmila Roshchina, top in qualification, 13.366. This is a routine notable for its tumbling complexity. There really is some tremendous tumbling in that display from Lyudmila Roshchina, the 18-year-old. It will have a high difficulty score. From an artistic point of view, does it have the sort of flow and fluidity and relationship to the music that McDonald's performance has? That's maybe more up for discussion. There are moments choreographically where some of the transition points from one element to the next seem quite easy to see, and ideally one wishes for floor choreography to blend together, linking all of those tumbling passes. But in terms of the actual tumbling itself, which is the lion's share of a floor exercise, it's very fine. and extremely athletic. Landings showed impressive control. It does lead 13.333 for Lyudmila Roshchina. She's ahead by about a quarter of a mark over Kate MacDonald. Half a mark of difficulty. She didn't have the execution score compared to MacDonald, but she certainly had the difficulty. This is the young Croatian gymnast, Antalya Šikić-Kaučić, 6th best in qualification. Always enjoyable to watch on this piece. She's such an engaging gymnast to watch on floor. Antalya Šikić-Kaučić of Croatia, champion at the World Challenge Cup in Tashkent last year. Somebody who's got a style that links all of the tumbling together. There is a sense of cohesion to her work. And we look back at this performance from the 17-year-old from Zagreb, the city that's going to be hosting the European Championships later in the year. And there's some good tumbling on show here as well. Controls the landing coming out of those piked rotations, straight into that expressive choreographic style that she has. You want gymnasts to be identifiable on floor, for it to be easy to know who's performing because of the style that they have that is unmistakably theirs. And she is unmistakably her on this piece. But the tumbling as well is really good and has developed a lot. She's still a very new senior. Still room in places for the execution to grow, but that's okay. Antalya Šikić-Kaučić of Croatia. Very well done. 12.666. That is a jump of 0.3 from qualification. Leni Bola of Austria. Now, she produced the best executed performance in the preliminary round. 4th best qualifier overall. It's a very different style of orchestration from what we've heard so far in this floor final. It stands out, the performance of Leni Bola of Austria. The 18-year-old competed at her 2nd World Championships last year. Very much associated with her performances on floor. On 2 occasions she's taken a World Challenge Cup medal on this apparatus. A little delayed instability after the double pike. Went out of bounds. She didn't have any out of bounds penalties in the qualification process. So it's a 12.4 score for the Austrian Leni Bola. She's down by 4/10 from qualifying, goes into 4th position, and we have 1 to go. To Laia Font of Spain, 2nd best in qualification. It's got such a big and memorable finish, that, from Spain's Laia Font. The gymnast who had a 5.4 difficulty score in qualification. She has that incredibly rapid series of pirouettes at the end. Currently, it's a 13.333 that leads the way. 13.066 second and 12.666 third. Look back at Spain's Laia Font. Generates a lot of height to allow herself to open up out of that double tuck nicely. Little imprecision of form in the pike position. Well performed though. .666 plus required to get onto the podium. Ludmila Roshchina leading the way. Kate McDonald second. Antalya Šikić-Kaučić third. Where will she feature? She is close, but it's fourth place for Laia Font, 12.466. And that means Ludmila Roshchina has won the gold, Kate McDonald has won the silver, and Antalya Šikić-Kaučić of Croatia has the bronze medal. Classified results in the women's floor exercise. Bronze to Antalya Šikić-Kaučić of Croatia, silver to Australia's Kate McDonald, and the gold medal to Ludmila Roshchina. Two more ceremonies remain. Of the bronze medal in the women's floor competition, Antalya Šikić-Kaučić of Croatia. The silver medal won by Kate McDonald of Australia. And Ludmila Roshchina, the winner of the gold medal. the medalists in the women's floor competition at the Antalya World Cup.